going to be to print out the image of all of the things that we can find inside of the jar. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. So this is going to be a very exciting day, and then you'll have this object handy to use as a calming sort of device to distract you when you're very anxious, or even just to have in a long car ride that you can have something to look at when you're maybe not on a screen or not wanting to look out a window. So I really hope that you have fun putting this together and definitely using it in your life. Only use those bonding glues with the supervision of an adult. I don't want to use a whole page. It would never fit on this jar, would it? So I'm going to print it a lot smaller, and you could add text that says find these 20 things, or however many things you put in. 20 is a really good number. Whenever I'm printing, I always import my photo, and then I go ahead into my print dialog, and whenever I click print, I don't want to print an entire page. What I'm going to do is hit the scale button, and then I'm going to adjust the scale, changing it from 10 or 15% and looking at how big the image appears on the visual piece of paper example. Once I find a size that looks like it will fit for my jar, then I'm going to go ahead and print that and check to see if it fits on the size of the lid. My final size was 4%. You can see it there on the left. The one in the middle is 5%, and the one all the way on the right was 6%. Those two, the right one and the middle one, were too big for me, but you'll have to play around and see what works for you. I'm going to take a pencil, and I'm going to take my jar lid, and I'm going to lay it down to see if indeed this is a good size. And it's really, really close. So I'm going to trace around the jar lid with my pencil, removing it, seeing that everything does fit inside of that. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out that circle. Look at this, I can see that there's a band here and here. There are high-tech ways we can get rid of that, but because I don't know what software you're using, or maybe you don't have the same thing that I'm using, we're just going to simplify it. And what we're going to do is we're going to just write find it jar, or you could write your name and then find it jar. You could write find 20 things. You can just go ahead and take a marker, a Sharpie, and write that on here to sort of explain what this is for should someone else come across it. Find 20 and win! Our last step is going to be to add some glue to the lid so that we can add this to the top. Of course, we wouldn't want to put it on the side of the jar because that would block what we can see to find and actually enjoy the jar. So one of these two glues are fine. This one sometimes reacts to some plastics and then it peels off. So I'm going to use this one just to be safe. Only use those bonding glues with the supervision of an adult. A Gorilla Glue, a Crazy Glue, anything like that would also work where you're bonding two different types of materials. If you only have the white Elmer's glue, that will work as well. You might just have to re-glue it later on. Just adding this and letting it sit until it's bonded. Then I'm adding this to the top. You can also go over this with some Mod Podge to seal it so that nothing, if it would get wet, it doesn't actually ruin the top. Again, that's just totally optional. So a Mod Podge on top is an extra way to seal it.